What's up, y'all? Happy Sunday. This is not my typical podcast day, but I'm just trying to change up a couple of things this week to work on energy management a little bit better. It's been a rough freaking month for me. So let me see. Alexi. Hey, what's up? Jack is on. How's it going, guys? Again, I don't normally come on here on Sundays, but I'm trying to work on changing up a couple of things on my schedule. One of the things is I make my own schedule. Why can't I just podcast whenever I want to podcast? And well, this week I got a really busy week, so I'm going to get ahead of it and knock it out today since I have some time. And it's a rainy day outside. It's really nasty outside. So what the heck? I've changed my whole routine today. In fact, I even did a little workout today. I don't normally work out on Sunday, but I have not worked out in a couple of days and was feeling okay today. So gave it a shot. So how's everybody doing today? Hopefully your guys' weather is better than mine. Today, I want to talk a lot about those of you guys that are doing all of the things. You're like doing everything you can think of to get results, but you're not getting results. I have been there. You feel like you're the person that you know more than everybody around you. You're hitting the gym 5, 6, maybe even 7 days a week, team no rest day. You're trying to track your food. You're trying to eat healthy. You're trying to meal prep. And you're going through these cycles where you're just like trying to get better and trying to figure it out. And then you burn yourself out. I want to hopefully get down to the root of all of that stuff and invite you all to join in on my masterclass that I am doing on Tuesday, which is the other reason I'm recording the podcast today, because I have to make sure I have energy available. Because I tell you, when I am in a masterclass, I get very passionate. If y'all think I'm, a little bit off the rails when I'm talking to you guys here, just wait till you get me live on a masterclass. Or if you're a client of mine, you know that I can really go off on tangents and rants. But a lot of the people that come to me are not a stranger to, oh God, you're hot. Well, I'm glad that you think so. I actually just got done working out. Are not a stranger to hard work. The majority of the people that come to me are already hitting the gym anywhere from 4 to 6 days a week. They're juggling work with life, with kids, with responsibilities, with actually wanting to be fit. And the majority of people that come to me do want to be fit. You want to look good, but you also want to feel good in the gym. This isn't just about going to the gym and doing some bicep curls and getting a chest pump. I want to be able to bench press, XYZ pounds. Give me 3 wheels, give me 4 wheels. Well, that's pretty lofty, right? So I'm not a mom, just letting you know, call me daddy. Sorry, not a mom. I'm a cat mom, I guess. But you guys are the ones that are hitting the gym, and you are the ones that, in fact, I'm going to tell you this. The funny thing about the majority of the clients that come to me is if you put yourself in a grocery store, at a restaurant, and even like a Target, you are going to stand out. Or maybe you're something like, man, I should be standing out. Like nobody in this store does what I do on a consistent basis in the gym. This is for you. You are the one that wants to be part of the 1% of the world. And you are, if you're hitting the gym. So why don't you look like it, right? Or maybe you can get to a place where you feel like you're really happy with your body composition, but other things go haywire, whether it's hormones, whether you just burn out, whether you just can't maintain it because, whatever, you get cravings, life hits. Maybe it's only convenient at certain times of the year, and you just want to figure out what is going on. This is all for you, okay? And if you are listening to all of this and this is resonating with you, I also want you to join in on my masterclass on Tuesday. So if you DM me masterclass, I can send you the link. If you put it up in the comments, I found this out the hard way. For whatever reason, the comments don't save. So unless I was able to send it to you right now, in fact, maybe I can just do that. Let me see if I can just drop the link to the masterclass here. I will try and do that. Let me see if I can. Oh, I think I can. This is brilliant. If y'all want the link to the masterclass, I'm going to drop it for you in the chat there. Okay. So I did drop it there. You might have to do like a copy and paste thing though, because I don't know if it actually will work for you. Instagram doesn't really allow for clickable links, but I do have the link. So if you can't find it, just let me know. So I want to get into this a little bit today because this is the main purpose of today's episode, is driving you guys to that masterclass where I'm going to break everything down. And this is where I'm going to start by talking about the things you're doing already. All right. You are likely spending a lot of time on ChatGPT, which is the new Google, right? ChatGPT is Google Plus, right? Because you get to actually have a conversation with the search engine. Okay, so you're having conversations with ChatGPT. You're looking up Instagram. You're asking your friends at the gym. You're talking to other people. Maybe you've even hired coaches in the past. You're doing all of the things. You're trying to track your food. You're trying to meal prep, but nothing is changing. You're weighing in and it's staying the same. You're looking in the mirror and you're like, I would be fine if the scale didn't change, if the mirror looked different. Nothing seems to change. And it's why you feel so frustrated. It's why you don't know what to do. It's why you want to give up. But you also don't want to give up because you truly do love what you do in the gym. So you're okay with just being mediocre and getting by, even though you know deep down inside it's consuming your every thought. Like maybe you're able to still function in life, but there's a lot of noise running in the background. Okay. This is for you. This is not about you not working hard. It's about you missing some pieces in the puzzle that are keeping you stuck. And a lot of it is mindset related because most of the people that come to me have so much noise from different things that they believe that it's really hard to piece it together. In fact, if you guys have been following me, you know that I'm going through my own little health scare, I'm going to call it. And it has been super frustrating because there's like 3 big things that it could be. And all 3 of them require some changes, but it's like, well, which one is actually going to work? And I'm basically looking at the changes that are going to overlap and improve all 3 things. And those are the things that I am focusing on right now. I'm not going to try and go down rabbit holes into certain areas until I know for sure what it is. But sometimes you just don't know what you're missing. Okay. So it's funny because I've seen more women download more of my like free guides, recipes, all this stuff. In fact, you probably have 5 million different recipe guides that you've never actually tried and nothing actually sticks. In fact, who actually needs recipes? Most women think they need recipes. You don't need recipes. Nobody needs recipes. Nobody has time for recipes. You know what my meal prep is going to be today? I'm going to meal prep some ground beef, some chicken, some rice, some sweet potatoes, some veggies, and boom, lunch and dinner done. Don't need to be overthinking it. I will have fun foods built in there, but I keep my main meals pretty simple. But that's what you need. Okay. So let's talk about other things that you might be looking into. A lot of women and men look into things like, is it insulin? Do I have to worry about my blood sugar? Is it my hormones? Is it my metabolism? What about meal timing? Okay. What are the best foods, the worst foods? Do I have to clean up my food quality? You're just constantly wondering what it is. You have literally researched everything you can think of. And you're like, maybe it's that, maybe it's that, maybe it's that. And you're piecing things together, or you're trying to apply everything. And it's literally just emotionally, physically, and mentally taxing. All right. So you don't have a knowledge problem. You have no problem going online. You are literally a walking encyclopedia of a bunch of stuff that's just not working for you. Why is it not working for you? You have an application and integration problem. Okay. You don't know what to apply, when to apply it, and how to apply it in a way that actually works in your lifestyle. Okay. The thing about the human body is, and I've been using this a lot, your body is an ecosystem. It is not a macro calculator. It does not abide by rules. There are so many things that are going to adapt it. It's just like a lake. Okay. Like right now it's raining outside. The lake water levels are going to change. The pH of the water is going to change. The fungus in it's going to change based on what crap is being thrown in it. Like your body is constantly adapting to everything you're doing in your life from a mental perspective, from a physical perspective, and the things that you are exposed to mentally, physically, emotionally, all of it. Okay. And you're pulling pieces from everywhere. In fact, right now, as you're listening, you are consuming information, hopefully useful information, hopefully helping you to understand why more research is probably only hurting, not helping. Okay. You're getting a little bit of these bits and pieces from everywhere, along with maybe even you have things that you've done in the past that have worked and are no longer working. So you're like, you have this belief that like something is wrong with you, that now that's not working. What happened to my body? You're just actually not understanding what is going on. And there are a few things that are typically missing. All right. Number one is nobody is actually teaching you how to work with your body and what your body is actually saying. In fact, I had a client who she's been trying to lose weight, and like every time we try and put her in a deficit, she can stay in a deficit for like maybe 8 to 10 days. And then she's like, I can't. And we've been going through this cycle for so long. And after going through some diet history, like she's been trying to eat a deficit for so long. I'm like, you either have to really like overcome the central nervous system stress of being in a deficit and actually get into one, or you need to tell yourself, maybe I need to actually get myself ready to be in a deficit by not being in one long enough. And that's a hard thing to tell somebody who wants to lose weight. But sometimes like just doing the same thing and expecting a different result isn't going to help. Okay. But the number one thing is you have to learn how to work with your body. Sometimes taking a short-term break might be exactly what you need to show yourself that, oh, I actually want to be in a deficit, right? Like that's the cool thing about it. Okay, so number one is not understanding the cues that your body is giving you, always looking externally for what you should be doing. Number two is being so consistent with some things, but so inconsistent with the things that actually matter. And I see this all of the time. We can all get hyper-focused on the things that are challenging, but challenging within our comfort zone. And I fell into this trap myself. I know it's really easy to fall into this trap. For a lot of people, it's, they're very dialed in during the week and not so much on the weekends, or maybe they don't want to track their food. They just want to eat clean. Maybe they just want to track their food and they don't want to eat clean. There's like so many little things that they're not being, and even not knowing what actually matters most for their specific goals because they don't know how to read their body. Number one, you don't know what your body's asking you for. Some people just think that if the weight's not moving, they should drop calories more. And sometimes that's not the solution. Sometimes it only backfires. Okay. So number two is only doing a part of the plan. This kind of goes into number one, is focusing on being consistent with the wrong things. Number two is doing parts of the plan. I get this all the time. I'm tracking my macros, but I'm not losing weight. I'm hitting my protein, but I'm not losing weight. They're training hard, but they don't actually understand how to actually fuel their training. There's so many things going on that are possibly not included in the plan that actually might be what's holding you back. And sometimes it's having an honest conversation with yourself that you didn't even know you had to have. I had to have that conversation with myself. In fact, I have to have that with my clients oftentimes. Okay. Another one is when you have so much knowledge, you are always trying different things and never giving anything long enough to work. In fact, any diet will work if you stick to it long enough, hands down. If it creates a calorie deficit, it will work long term. It's just a matter of like, not everybody can stick to any diet. I'm not going to be able to follow a carnivore-based diet and be in a deficit. I'm going to be too hungry. So there's just some things that are just not going to work for me, just like for you. Maybe that is what's going to work for you. Maybe you would rather be low carb. That's just not going to work for me. And it usually backfires for most CrossFitters because our training is glycolytic. But there we go. Somebody that is following a carnivore or a low carb person or low carb guru might think, well, that's what I need to do. And they wonder why it's not working for them, why they're getting cravings, and that person craves or raves about how their energy is great and they don't have any cravings. And you're wondering, why are you different? Everybody's body is different. Okay. So another really big one is for a lot of people who have seen results in the past, or maybe even not seen results in the past, but actually have been consistent, is there's no maintenance skill set. It's always about, all right, I'm in a deficit. I want a challenge. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing this for fat loss. Nothing that you are doing should be for fat loss. Just letting you, I'm just going to say this straight up. Nobody in this world should be tracing fat loss. I don't care if you are 500 pounds or if you are 120 pounds. Your goal should be living lean, like hands down. The fat loss is the road. It's the map to getting you where you want to be. Okay. Because, and the reason I say that is there are so many people that fat loss becomes a game. It becomes a way for them to feel good about themselves. Because when they're dialed in, they like the way people look at them. It's diet behavior. They like the way it feels to have people be like, God, you're so disciplined in a fat loss, because they're in a fat loss phase. Do you know how unbelievably boring it is to maintain? And nobody's like, oh my God, you're so disciplined. Oh my God, you have achieved. Like, my transformation from fat loss happened years and years and years ago. Okay. Like, am I still adapting to life? Absolutely. But the fat loss train is not one that I want to have to go through again. Okay. So, but it's this on off mode with fat loss and never actually getting sustainable results. The only time you're ever dialed in is when you're in a deficit. And that's why you never can maintain it. You see fat loss as this like exciting thing that gives you a sense of purpose in life. And it shouldn't be. It should be a means to getting you to where you can actually show up in your life more freaking confident. Okay. And that's also why I'm hosting this masterclass, because as much as I know that this is about jumpstarting your fat loss journey, the journey is to getting you where you can actually fucking maintain it and not keep chasing another. You're going to see that it's very different than anything you've ever had before. Okay. So let's get you unstuck. Okay. So what we need to really do here is look at where you have energy leaks and where you're putting effort in on things that are not giving you any return. That's like number one. Okay. So a lot of you guys are putting work in, but the work is being put in areas that aren't giving you any return. You need clarity on what actually matters. You need a system that fits your life. This is not about tracking macros perfectly. This is not about meal prep. This is not about, clean eating. This is what works in your life and how to make that actually adaptable when life changes. Like, so there's people that travel and they need to be able to have a plan when they're traveling and when they're at home. You need to figure out that system that works for you, not just in fat loss, but in maintenance as well. You need to know what data matters, not just macros, but all of the data that matters. I track a lot of data for my clients and I encourage them to pay attention to data because that's how we can make adjustments to things. And this is where I kind of want to pivot and talk to you guys about how I do things differently. And this is what's going to help you guys when you guys do come to my workshop or my masterclass. Because if you're still with me, I hope that you are coming to my masterclass. There will be a replay available. But what we really focus on is what drives consistency for you. What makes it so easy for you to be consistent? Whatever that is, we're going to keep doing that. And it's a constant reminder of not chasing something new. In fact, a lot of my clients are like, feel like it's kind of a boring check-in. That's the best check-in. That means we're learning, we're pivoting, we're no longer having to figure things out. The less exciting your check-ins, the less time I have to spend telling you things. That means that what we're doing is working, it's clicking, and all you have to do is keep embracing it. So we embrace that over perfection. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm always trying to make improvements, but I'm not going to throw 5 million things at a person the first week, the second week, the fifth week. I'm going to focus on the 1 or 2 things that are going to improve their nutrition the most to get them feeling better or looking better. Okay. We have structure and we have flexibility. This is not quote unquote, if it fits your macros. This is understanding the importance of getting enough nutrients in your diet, but also having enough flexibility to enjoy the things that you want to have. That is the core of how we eat. We also have structure. This is not about winging every day, but it's also not being obsessed and having cookie cutter meals. It's knowing what flexible structure looks like and how to be able to bend the rules a little bit when you need to. It's also learning how to listen to your body versus looking at external factors, right? So when I give my clients calories, macros, and even food choices, it's very much an autonomous decision on them with me giving them buoys, essentially. It's like, these are your buoys. Here's where I want you to stay, but I want you to figure out what works best for you. So like, for example, if I have a client whose target calories are 1900 and her goal is 125 grams of protein, I might have idea of where I want her macros to be based on her lifestyle, but I'm going to give her ranges. And essentially, like, these are your minimums. How you spend the rest to get to your calories is up to you. As long as you are feeling good, your energy is good. If those things drop, then that likely means we need to make a little bit of an adjustment. But these are the things that I teach my clients. I don't just do it for them. Okay. This is where things really start to click. And this is where things clicked for me. It took a long time for me to get out of looking to other people to set my calories and macros and actually just having somebody hold me accountable to being okay experimenting. And that's kind of what I do with my clients. It's more of an experimentation and giving them an understanding of why I'm making the adjustments that I'm making and having them help me figure out if that's manageable for them or not. Okay. So if you are listening to all of this and you're like, yes, this is definitely stuff that I needed to hear, I really hope that you take it and you simplify things that you're doing and maybe focusing on 1 or 2 things, or maybe actually starting, which I don't want to start putting information in this episode that are going to be at my masterclass, but come to the masterclass because I'm going to be breaking everything down from how to assess, how to optimize, how to track, all of that stuff. So you know exactly what matters most. So I'm going to even invite my current clients to come to it because I think it'll be a good refresher for them. So you're going to understand exactly what's holding you back. Everybody has different limitations. You're going to understand how to build a plan that works for you. And you're going to start realizing that the whole starting over again is actually not really starting over again. It's literally just making things harder. I'm going to show you how to actually, even if you have a slip up, understand how that's all an opportunity for you to learn. Okay. So if you are ready to join in the masterclass, you can either DM me masterclass. I did drop the link in the comments. Hopefully you guys can see it if you have to scroll up for it. If not, just shoot me a DM and I will send it to you, because my goal is that if you are somebody putting in the work, that you are putting in the work on the right things. And I also want to encourage you to, even if you feel like you're somebody who is like, I'm just not dedicated, I'm just not committed. Maybe you're listening to all this, you're like, nope, that's not me. Maybe it's not you because you do demand so much of yourself and you don't think that you can do this in a way that's actually effective without being hyper-focused on everything. I want to show you how this can become just a natural part of your life. And that's truly how nutrition should be. We all have to eat, right? It's making those choices easier for you to be the person that you want to be, okay? So just shoot me a message. You likely don't need to be diving deeper into setting calories and macros or food choices or hormones or metabolism. You honestly just need to understand how to apply everything that you've learned to your unique situation. Okay. So this is not about you not trying hard enough. It's you likely putting too much work in on the things that don't matter. In fact, some of y'all think that training 7 days a week is more effective than dialing in your nutrition. And that's not the case. All the training in the world is not going to make up for the fact that you need to have a nutrition plan that actually supports that. So what do y'all got for me? Any questions? I got a lot of people on here today. Anybody got anything else? No? Just going to take a look over here. Does bourbon count as carbs or sugar? Asking for my friend. Definitely not me. Oh my God, that's hilarious. If you're still on here. So the other thing that I do also with my clients with the whole calories, macros, and alcohol situation is, yes, you can take it as carbs or fats. Bourbon is not a carb or a sugar. It's an ethanol. So it's actually got 7 calories per gram, but because we can't track ethanol on a macros first, we're just accounting for the calories. You can either count it as carbs or fats, or you can split the difference. But for a lot of my clients, I honestly just have them track it and I'll look at their overall calories and not overthink it too much. I think that gets obviously overestimated or overemphasized as well. So that's something that you can kind of take a look at to minimizing your stress about. What else you guys got? Anything else? Any other little questions before I sign off? If you guys do want to join the masterclass, it's going down on Tuesday. I am going to do a replay of it. I'm going to just drop the chat or drop the link for it again. So, ooh, Jameen's on. I just saw you join in. She's like my sister from another world. I feel like we were meant to connect. All right. Well, if you guys have any other questions, y'all know where to find me. DM me masterclass if you can't get that link and you want to join it. Other than that, I will talk to y'all in the next episode. Bye.